Hey, family. Hey, family. This is B Moore's Real Team Talk Show. B Moore's Real Team Talk Show. Trying to wait uh, a little bit for some of my other streams to connect. But how's everybody doing? Y'all know who this is, right? This is Steve Copeland, host of the B Moore's Real Team Talk Show. Um, I'm gonna turn this around. Oh, come on. The stuff I ate, I gotta take my fast, acting insolent. Um, Sorry, family. Give me a sec, because I'm looking up this prompt. That way I can read it off to you about tomorrow city. I can read it off to you, B More City. Okay, B Moore's Real Team Talk Show family. I was thinking about seeking mentorship. Seeking mentorship. Seeking guidance. Seeking wisdom. Seeking support. Mentors helping our youth to grow. That's what the topic is about. Mentors helping our youth to grow. By way of mentorship, seeking guidance, seeking wisdom, seeking support from that mentor. And this made me think about family, a conversation. And B-Box, I hope you come over about foster caring, right? And for a lot of y'all that might not know, I used to do kinship foster care. And not only that, in Baltimore City, we have a program called WIN. It's a business where WIN, I can't think of his name right off, but he does foster care, foster caring. That's what he did. He looks for like foster care providers, people who wants to be trained in foster care, being a foster care provider, stuff like that. And he's in Baltimore City. And it's a black guy, and this is what he does. I had signed up to do private foster care. I was going to say private duty foster care. But I have signed up after doing kinship foster care to do the actual private foster care. And most of the children family during this time that I had signed up to work with, would have been our troubled youth still. You get me? The only reason why for me, I don't mind working with our problem children or our troubled youth. Now, I look at them as the ones that need our love and support the most. A lot of people don't care to work with the hardcores, but they need love too. Let me put it like that. Now, during the kinship foster care, I also mentored young men during that time. They're all grown now. And I was sharing with some people As a man that grew up without a father, I was trying to fill in that gap for children who didn't have their parents in their lives. Truth just put up orphans as well. Well, orphans, part of foster care. But the goal was to fill in that gap as that male positive role model. As a man that grew up without a father, the role models that I had, I'm gonna say they done the best they could. That's all I'm gonna say about them today, right? Because I make jokes about that too. But the goal is for our youth to have somebody in their lives that can teach them how to be productive. And I like to say these words right here, right? Productive members in society today. You get me? And I know a lot of times, family, for what's going on in our communities with our youth, if our youth are running around acting destructively, violently, first thing we're going to do, we're going to look back at the parenting. Are they being raised properly? Are they being taught properly? And what I understand, and I'm talking about mainly for me, even though my mother taught me the difference between right and wrong, even though my mother taught me morals, values, principles, living a good, healthy lifestyle, right? We wasn't perfect now, but still, I went the opposite way. And if y'all heard me share a few things, you couldn't tell me what I was doing was wrong. So when I look at the Teen Talk Show, when I looked at the point of giving our youth a voice, and a lot of the parents, I'm going to share this right now with y'all. Y'all are the voices for your troubled youth. Y'all are the voices for your healthy youth. And when I say healthy, I'm talking about the ones that's doing the right things, that you're not really having issues with as far as them moving forward in life. The parents are the voice for the lost youth. And the parents are the voice for our healthy generation. So whenever we talk, family, that's all I want us to do, right? If you got troubled children, let's talk and talk about the things that we can do to help them move forward in a more healthier way. Don't keep degrading them. Don't keep talking about them bad. You don't have to keep telling your child, you remind me of your father, you remind me of your mother, or you this and that, and you too hot, you this, you that, you this. That's mentally, emotionally, and verbal abuse. So you're beating them down here. And if it gets to that point where you have to talk to them about certain behaviors, and I shared this before, we are going to discipline them in certain ways, right? Like this, with the mouth, with the mouth, with the mouth. But don't leave them hanging. And that's what I learned throughout my process. Because if you don't, you know the old saying, spare the rod, spoil the child, right? So if you don't use the rod, you got to be stronger with your voice. A lot of parents, some words I'm going to say out my mouth, you might not really like to hear. But sometimes when you're raising your kids and they tend to be a little bit more harder and stubborn, then you got to come back as that drill sergeant, as a parent. No way in the world, and I'm going to bring it back down, am I going to allow children like mine to disrespect me. I'm going to rear up on them to intimidate them, to help them get scared of me so they bring it back down. So if you got children disrespecting you, maybe because you're not standing firm and powerful enough. And it's not about beating them or in that type of sense or anything like that. That's not what I'm talking about. Your voice alone. Your voice. So sometimes you got to rear up to bring them down. But then if you find yourself turning them apart mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and this is what I learned in the process of the things that I do, right? Once you do this, you got to start encouraging them. I love you. I'm proud of you. Right now, I'm a little bit angry at certain behaviors. I'm only saying this to you because I love you, to help them understand, give them a balance. You're not beating them, but if we're not careful, you can tear apart their self-esteem. And that's something that we have to learn as parents too. When you turn them down, you got to beat them back up. I mean, I'm sorry, y'all. I just say beat them back up. You got to build them back up. And I'm only saying this stuff with y'all family because these are things that I have to do with my children. And I did believe to old school now, spare the rod, spoil the child. So mine's are grown now. So officer friendly. This is one of the things I told your other partner over 17 years ago when I went to beat my 10-year-old daughter from running, getting smart with me. He said, well, you know I could lock you up. And I told him like this, I'd rather beat her butt than have you kill her. And he turned around and walked away. And for TikTok's sake, unalive. And the reason why I said that, because of a lot of our children behaviors, and when they come encounter with the law, what they doing? They pew-pew on them. Or in other words, pew-pew for TikTok. They shooting them. And then the commissioner and them are justifying it. So to some of y'all might feel like this is a non-win-win thing. But they don't like when I say stuff like that out my mouth. I'd rather, if I have to pull out the belt. Now mine's are grown now. So that's bull junk gone. But if I had to pull out the belt to discipline them, you get me after the 3 strikes. 3 strikes, you out. And this is how I had to do as a parent. And mine's are grown now. So in saying that, right, and I was making this clear to the popo, if that's my way of disciplining them, I'd rather do it than to have you unalive them or take them down. And when I said that to this officer, he couldn't do nothing but walk away. Because they know what time it is. Just like the young boy that was running with a gun in his hand. Popo shot him in his back. The same little young man he shot in the back when I got locked up 3 years ago, he was over to prison. I said, man, I was wondering what had happened with you. First, he was up in the juvenile facility. The moment he turned 18, they come down to the regular prison. Did y'all know that? You got children, right, that's 14, 15, 16. They in the juvenile facility. The moment they turn 18, they mix with the adults. And then you got our youth being mixed with adults that should be teaching them better not to continue practicing certain behaviors, and I'll be goddamn if they ain't acting like they young. So it's like the blind trying to teach the blind. The Teen Talk Show. Now, anytime as a person that used to be a child, as a person that used to be a teenager, as a person that used to be in his 20s, as a man that used to be in his 30s, as a man that used to be in his 40s, his 50s, and now his 60s. A lot of the stuff I used to do, I just don't do no more. From the mistakes that I made in life, and then becoming a father myself, now a grandfather, now being or becoming a foster care parent, mentoring young men, held down a prison commitment, which was the H&I commitment. If y'all don't know what that is, that's when I was going to say when I was being a part of NA, we would go into hospitals, jails, and institutions, stuff like that, to speak to the people. So all of this is new. It's not new to me. This is just the way, through my 12-step journey, I help others. Then being an ordained deacon, then being a man in the ministry, because it's just all it is. They titles. Starting the couch talk conversation. After starting the couch conversation, starting the Be More Real Teen Talk Show. Giving our youth a voice. So we got to start out, parents. Listen to learn. And listen to learn. I mean, listen to learn. I'm sorry, y'all. Listen to learn and learn while you're listening. And I had to understand, I was too busy running around, right, as a teenager, doing destructive stuff. I remember my mother asking me, Steve, what is going on with you? At the time, be honest, I didn't know. But I'm looking at our youth now, right? And I'm going to just say they are more wiser and more intelligent, mainly to life, than a lot of us older people were when we was coming up. We was okay for that time frame. But then I'm looking at now. So the only thing I'm trying to say, and what I say, parents, and our youth as well. Parents, we have to listen and do our best and not to judge. And I was sharing this with some people earlier. I remember saying that, and my daughter, I leave the doors open for them. And one day, me and my youngest daughter had some words about something. She was just trying to express herself. And I felt like she was being disrespectful, and I said something. And then it hit me. We listen, and we don't judge. And I had to practice everything I be saying. Because it sounds good, don't it? But then when your child come to you, or your teenager come to you, and they want to tell you something that's very important to them, might not seem important to you parents, but you want to sit back and say, oh, go sit down. Oh, leave it alone. You don't want to listen. And that's why I'm sharing what I'm sharing, right? Because we have to learn. And it's vice versa, you get me? To listen to our children and try not to judge them. Because they're going to say some things out their mouths that we're not going to appreciate. Some of them might express themselves in a very, very unhealthy manner. And some of them may express themselves in a proper way. But they still need to get their pain out. You get me? And that's what I started seeing, fam. Now, looking at my children, right? And I'm looking at my nieces and nephews that I raised. And I'm looking at our youth of today. And I thank God that in Baltimore City, that we have a lot of programs for our young men and women. We have a lot of programs for our young men and women. It might not appear like it, but yes, we do. Yes, we do. Sometimes you can have a certain group, and it's not a lot now, that's in the community wreaking havoc, but it will make the multitude look bad. So you know how they say that one apple can spoil the whole bunch? And that's the way it appears sometimes. You might have that one group or a certain amount, and just because of what they're doing, it will make it look like it's the whole city within itself, or all of our youth as a whole. And it's not true. Now, these are the things that I started seeing myself for being a community activist, for being a human rights advocate, for being involved in trying to prevent a lot of these crises and issues that we're having. Now, I read off some names of organizations, nonprofits in Baltimore City that's doing some great work. The only thing I ask people from other cities, if you come on the talk show, and if you are one of the ones that's in your community with other nonprofits or businesses that have created programs to better educate and better help our children to prosper in a more healthier way in life, these are the things that I want us to talk about. See, I can only share with you what's going on in Baltimore. I need you to tell me, you in Chicago, what is y'all doing in Chicago to reduce the violent criminal behaviors? What's up, Mackie? What are y'all doing in your neighborhood, your city, to help reduce the smog epidemic? What are you doing in your area, in your community? And I know you're not by yourself. That's why I'm saying this, because I can't do it by myself. But what are you doing in your community, in your city? Even if you name some of the other organizations that's there doing things. Now, I can talk about this list. This is Van Brooks. This is Joe Gamble, Damon Cooper, Mayo Alfonso, Umar, Manor, Lisa Cooper, Uncle T, Sean, that works with our youth, We Ours Us, Danny Graham. I got a list And it's longer than this. I got to put some more on here. Too many for me to name. And guess what? I can go right over here to LinkedIn. And every name, basically, I just mentioned to y'all right here on LinkedIn. Reginald Grant. Regina Robinson. Coy McCray. Senator Coy McCray. Very, very busy in the community. Do a lot of work with our youth in the community. He's a senator, but he's in the community, going to these colleges and schools, and he's doing seminars and all this type of stuff. And not just him. I'm proud of his children. So I'll go over to LinkedIn because I'm a part of LinkedIn as well. And this is how I keep up to date with a lot of what our people doing. Donald Morton. A lot of y'all know Donald. Don't play with me. But I can go right over here. Sean Stanton, Maryland State Delegate, Legislative, District 41. Sean worked with the youth. I got Sean's name on here as well. These are people I met throughout the years. And the reason why I'm saying this, basically, family, because this is B. Moore's Real Team Talk Show. And the reason why I'm sharing this, because these are organizations and businesses that's in the community that's actually working with our youth. Now, some of them I know work with the men, the young men. But then when I see some of them working with the younger females as well, I be blown away, right? Because they men. But then they have the women that's working with the women. I mean, with the females, with the young ladies. Those are the things I'm proud of. And it just shows me continue doing what you're doing, Steve. Sometimes what I do, the clips that I break down from off of the talk show, I've been sending over. Right now, I don't have enough followers on this TikTok. I mean, on this platform to go live like I'm doing now. So I have to build that up as well. So I come over here, and most of them are Black. It's just a mixture of cultures of the things that they do. So it's not just focusing on Black, white. It's all different cultures over here. Business people that's doing stuff. Let me see if I can get this for y'all. Now, this right here, this is the Couch Talk Show. But it's God is good all the time. It's a video that I sent over from a clip that I sent over to LinkedIn. This to help them see what I'm doing on my end. People like Lisa Cooper. That's the one that told me years ago, Mr. Copeland, people hear what you're saying, but they need to also see what you're doing. So that's why I started recording certain things. So it's not just what I say out my mouth. You can actually see it for yourself. So I'll get people sending me messages. Can you tell me a bit more about your business? I went through your profile. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you're currently doing? And this is a financial specialist. See, I ain't like most of your live stream broadcasters who wants to come up and talk a good game, but they not really about it. You get me? and y'all fall right for it. Happy birthday. And what I do, I go through my stuff every day and I'll check it just to read messages, respond back. So to go back to basically what we're talking about on B Moore's Real Teen Talk Show, mentors helping our youth to grow. Mentors helping our youth to grow. And see, a lot of us have this tendency that we want to preach. We want to sound good. We want to talk good. And it's nothing wrong with that. You want to sound good. You want to talk good. But what I started realizing is your walk, you get me, matching your talk. Are your actions matching your talk? And if you're just a talker, but you in the community, as far as knowing programs that's actually doing the footwork, make a list like I did for Baltimore City. Make a list where you can come on a platform and say, yeah, we got such and such doing this in Philly, East Side, blah, 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 on 25th Street. We got such and such doing this on the West Side, 19th Street. We got Janet Grant, Returning Citizens, 28th Street. She located. Because guess what? That ex-offender might need to hear us. That parent who's in a Pacific area but don't know that that nonprofit a block away is building up in that area where they could send their children. You don't know. They don't know until we open up our mouths to tell them. Certain organizations in the community. Mentorship programs. After school programs. You know somebody's child struggling with reading, struggling with math, struggling with history, English, math. I was going to say arithmetic, all that good stuff. But you won't tell them where the program's at that they can get the necessary help. Mentoring. In my process of doing what I still do somewhat, right? I was talking about that today too, family. I'm a little bit older now. And to become a foster care provider once again, like on my heart. But I'm a little bit older now. So I don't have the patience, the tolerance, because it's hands-on, you get me? We talking about breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then we talking about making sure we have, I wanted to say after school programs for those that need that extra help as well, but have programs in it. Because I'm telling you, I'm already doing certain things, so they'll slide right in with me. You know, getting them the proper and the necessary help that they need. Counseling, like therapy and stuff like that. See, I can't provide everything by myself. But when it comes to housing them, that's why I'll be honest with y'all now. I'm at a point where I want my own building. You get me? Now, leasing my own, not partnering up with nobody. I'm talking about leasing my own is where I'm at to buy. Lease to buy. Lease to buy. And I want everything under that roof. The services that we can provide for them. This is what's at 908 Valley Street. Every type of service we were starting in this building. Even though we had to reach for outside professionals, you get me? Because that's part of your team too. So this is where we at now. Now my partner doing it now, but the thing is, this is the type of setup that you want for the women and children, because he basically do the men, but for the women and children, and have these services, which is under my roof, which is what strengthening the community is all about. So now I'm at a point where I want my own. If I got a rent to own, rent to buy, lease to own, lease to buy, you get me? I want my own. And I want it to be that one-stop shop for what I'm looking at. But mine is temporary now, and that's dealing with the youth as well. The same way when a mother sign up for the mental health program, the child from 7 on up has to sign up as well. So we're trying to provide the healthcare services, mental health wise, for them as well. You start them off young, right? From 7 on up. So the same way with saying that, right? That's mentoring them as well. That's doing foster care with them as well. It's personal. It's hands-on. But I'm not by myself. That's the difference. So I'm looking at the education, right? Educating them. I'm looking at the after-school programs. I'm looking at the workforce development program. I'm looking at the tutoring program, the daycare program, mainly for the ones that's in the program, so the parents can go and do the necessary work that they need to do to get their lives in order. I'm looking at all of this. And that's everything that's written into my business proposal and what we do. The Teen Talk Show. You might have somebody that wants to be a singer, wants to be a model, want to play sports. We already know the regular sports: baseball, football, basketball, volleyball, cricket, lacrosse, golf, all of that. When I say the music, art, theater, when I'm thinking about Baltimore City, when I say that, I'm thinking about the School of the Arts, a multi-purpose center for our inner city youth, where they can be taught acting, singing, dancing. You get me? Because a lot of parents cannot afford to send their children to the School of the Arts. When I was coming up, we had these type of programs in our recreation centers. I remember home ec. I remember when I was in the 10th grade, driver's ed, 15 years old. And I'm quite sure we still have some vocationary schools, right? Because I'm going to say vocabulary, but that's not what I'm doing. Vocationary schools that has these type of programs in them. So to me, they aren't gone now. Don't get it wrong. It's just a lot of our inner city youth can't get into some of them to learn these skills. So I'm gonna just say, like, being a mentor, you also have to know where programs are at. Intervention programs, conflict resolution programs, financial programs to better educate the children. And when I say children, I'm talking about more like the teenagers on up. You know, the ones that's like 13 on up. Because when they children, you know, the basic learning stuff. But as they get older, we're preparing them for livelihood. And the way things are happening now, they starting off very, very young. And I'm gonna say this right here, right? Um, we was having a conversation a little bit earlier about I'm not even gonna share that part about that. But that was about basically some older men dating younger females, but over 18. Over 18, okay? And what the conversation was about, I was telling them, I said, watch this word here. And I'm talking about basically our young women or young queens. 18 and up. I said, watch this. Because they had asked a question. And I said, one thing about the age thing, they act more mature than what they really are. Because they wanted to know why some men might look at younger females, right? I said, check it out again. I said, they act more mature than what they really are, even though they're young. And most of them look like women. So you might catch men. Now I'm talking about over 18. This is teen talk that might go after somebody a certain age. You get me? I said they act even though they still young. And actually the age group that they was talking about wasn't 18 or 19. It was like 21, 23, stuff like that, right? That a man might, you know, a little bit older, might want to date somebody like that. And what I said was they act, basically, they playing a role. Because if you talk to them, you realize they still young. And that's what I was telling them, right? They was like, wow, you need to write a book. You need to this and that. And I'm just saying this, right? Because I don't have a problem, family. I share my experience, my strengths, and my hopes, right? And the goal with all of that, I talk about Steve Copeland. As far as God, as far as the Lord will take me back, will take me back in my life. At 64 years old. And the Lord takes me back to the time that I can remember, like from the age of 5, 6, coming up. He'll take me back every time. Even when it comes to having conversations on here, he'll take me back. And I'm thinking about that road less traveled. You get me? He takes me back to see a lot of those things that I have been through, I have experienced in life, how I was able to come up out of it and be a better man in this day. And we was walking through that journey, right? Every time I come on this talk show, every time. That's why when you hear me talk about the Teen Talk Show, I'm walking through a journey when I was younger, right? To better help y'all understand, even though we're older now, and I'm talking about our younger generation, even though we're older now, we was once there. That's y'all problem when y'all sit back. Oh, they don't understand this, they don't understand. Yes, we do. We was once young. And a lot of the stuff y'all doing today is no different than what we was doing. We might have been a little bit more dignified with certain things, but wrong was wrong. If you doing all the right things in life, I was listening to Little Steve, right, talk. So proper, so conservative. And I'm listening to my son. Well-rounded, well-educated young man. And I was listening to his wordings. The same way when I listened to my youngest daughter, who got her law degree. So she's dealing with mostly people that's dealing with law, lawyers. I'm trying to think of that other name, the one that works in their offices as well. Because that's where she's at. Even though she has her degree, her bachelor's of art degree in criminal justice, right? She's working in a law firm because her goal this year is go back to college to start working on her law degree. So she's in there helping them prepare cases and stuff like that. A paralegal. And y'all know her language is not ghetto at all because she speaks on a whole different level, education-wise and all of that. I'm the one without the education. But I look at my children all the way up to their older sister, LPN. I haven't talked with her in a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if she ain't a nurse now. I wouldn't. And it's just her life been the way it is. She's busy. She got 2. I'm over here. Hey, how you doing? How you been? Bye. Little stuff like that, right? But daddy here. She's living her life. I'm living my life. I'm looking back at my children. I'm looking back at the things that my wife and us then taught them. And I was sharing this before I came on here. And I'm looking at how they are living and practicing the morals, the values, and the principles that we instilled in their life. And I was sharing with somebody about, as a parent, you got to sit back now and watch them apply these things that you taught them into their lives. Even though they have issues, life challenges, you get me? And you want to jump in and you want to fix it and you wanted this and you wanted that. But I said this, family, you got to let them live out what you taught them. And I'm telling you, as a father, sometimes I want to jump in. You need help here, you need help there, you need this, that, blah, 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 blah. Well, this is that. And I was saying how you sometimes you just got to sit still. Everything y'all taught them, even when it comes to the relationships, you want to fix them and but they got to go through what they need to get through to get to the other side. And I was sharing with some people about that. You just sit back and you watching them. And sometimes you want to step in. You all right, baby? Daddy got you. They're grown. We don't want them to make the same mistakes we did, right? But they get into a relationship, they kind of know what the type of man to watch out for. Daddy taught them very well. They know how to take care of man. They know how to be responsible. They know how to be productive. They know how to do all that. My thing is, do that man know how to do that for them? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. B Moore's Real Teen Talk Show. Now I'm gonna tell y'all I'm old school, right? I know our younger generation growing up faster. To me, no 10, no 11-year-old, no 12-year-old, no 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15. You see how my face went? Be honest with you, they should not be having sex at their age. Smacks, for TikTok's sake. We love TikTok. Smacks. 10, 11, or even younger. Come on. Why? Why? 10, 11, 12, 13. They just getting into themselves. Puberty, maybe periods, just getting into the part I'm looking at is they're getting into growing. Even though we know they're starting to change body-wise. Even with the boys, don't think I'm just talking about the girls. No. If they 10, 11, 12, 13, I want to know what is going on. What the freak? What? Come on. Dante, I know that ain't nobody but you. Nobody but you, Dante. Then put this whole dialogue. I ain't even see your name yet. What's up, buddy? I ain't even see your name. But once I seen everything, Dante, I said, that ain't nobody but Dante with this long paragraph stuff. I knew that was you. What's up, buddy? Dante in the building. You know, Mr. Copeland, that they deliberately removed from economics, from the curriculums. This is here. Dante, I know you know all this. Dante is a come on, Dante. He teaches Come on, Dante, give me your title. He was just repeating back what I said, family. But Dante already know he's he's an educator. He's an educator, right? And one thing I do know about Dante, he can train you, he can teach you, and he can certify you. What I mean, basically, like with the bachelor's of art degree and all that type of stuff, he's qualified to do that. He's part of the team. I don't y'all know right now, I ain't trying to let him get too far. Because when we get our other building, or we go back into that one, Dante, I'm just trying to cool it for a minute. Because it's some stuff that's happening. But anyway, let me go back to what show me, God dang it. All right, it's showing up on the screen, Dante. But everything Dante wrote, family, is basically what I'm talking about. And he's very, very deep into the school system as well, so he understands what's going on. Women as wives are not passionate, nor are they simply pawns of objects of a man's lust or desire. They are human beings and should be treated as such. When men fail to remember and recognize their faults and failures, they end up barren, without clothes, and thirsty without water. For a good woman provides a beautiful harvest that, like Jesus' word, like Jesus' word, quenches your thirst so that you never go thirsty again. And I just want to say this, family, because Dante reached out to me a while back, and I thank God for him, because the goal with all of that was to actually start educating our women, the men too. But my goal is women and children, right? Because I see so many of them with a lot of children, and that men aren't there to help them. And it takes me back to my mother. When y'all hear me say I watched my mother raise 7 children by herself, I watched my mother work in the nursing home, right? Right there on Utah Street. The nursing home's still there. I watched my mother work double hours. We lived on Linden Avenue. Well, Utah, right up the street, Linden Avenue as well. I watched my mother. I'm the one that when my mother worked would have to do the chores around the house. Like Dante just put here. My mother was the one, like Dante said, but he's talking about the woman. But wait a minute, family. Let me slide it down some. I'm the one from the curriculum in public schools to prevent people of color from having the ability to take care of themselves, knowing how to cook, clean, sew, balance, budget. You can tell me and Dante ran about the same age. Dante, I gotta mess with you because I say the same things. I say my mother taught me as a child how to cook. Wait a minute, Dante. Look, to prevent people of color from having the ability to take care of themselves, knowing how to cook, clean, sew, balance a budget, take care of the home, and take care of ourselves, and a lost art today. I say it all the time, Dante. All the time. That's why I say y'all can tell that Dante, we round basically the same age. Because when I say my mother taught me at a young age how to cook, clean, sew, and I remember asking my mother too, Dante, I said, Mom, why did you teach me this? She said, just in case you don't meet a woman to take care of you. And that's not to take nothing away. Please don't y'all ever feel like that's what I'm saying. No. But when I asked my mother that, That's what she said. Now, the cooking, the cleaning, the sewing, and take care of ourselves is a lost art today. And what Dante is saying, the Latanya D. Copeland House of Hope, our goal, when you come in, you signing up for the mental health program. But the thing is to help you work this here. But to teach you all those things that Dante just mentioned. To cook, to clean, to sew. Because you have a lot of mothers and fathers that wasn't taught how to be responsible, how to budget their money, how to pay their bills on time. All of this is what the housing program is designed around. But like Dante, I have to use outside professionals to come in to help and provide those services. My goal is just providing a place. That's all I can do on a temporary basis for you to get into that permanent place. So Dante, I know everything basically as an educator. I know everything basically that we need to do to help people improve their lives. That's what strengthening the community is all about. That's what the Latanya D. Copeland House of Hope is all about. That's what the Teen Talk Show is all about. That's what the Couch Conversation Show is all about. Educating our people, empowering our people, inspiring our people, to teach people how to be better equipped for life. And I'm going to finish reading what Dante wrote. No mothers or grandmothers are teaching the young girls or boys what they need to take care of themselves, especially when they leave home to go to college, get their own place, or even take care of their mates. This is not good. The businesswoman who has a great job and a great salary is being, what you say, ushered or you ushered by the good-looking maid who can cook, clean, take care of the home, the children, and him. The message here is independent. Thank you. That's what the house the Dante, independent living. That's what we're about. That's what we are about. Teaching people. And me saying teaching people, I'm looking at the women, family. Please don't get it wrong. I'm here for the men too. But teaching the women how to be more independent and responsible with the kids that they are raising, that the man is not there to help them. But the goal is, on the other end, Dante, I want to encourage, motivate, empower the men. Take care of your responsibilities, whether you with the mother or not. I was able to do it. I was determined when I walked away from my second marriage not to be absent in my kid's life. So in me saying this, family, the body, understand this, my oldest daughter, when I left her mother, she was around 8. So the physical part of me wasn't in the house no more. I had to look at me, right? That physical man that she grew up with wasn't in the house. So I did not want her to feel abandoned. You get me? Like I abandoned her. Like I turned my back on her. This is my oldest daughter. And the reason why I can say that, Dante, because I grew up without a father. You get me? So a part of me feel abandoned. I seen you right there, Truth. So that's why I do what I do, family. But I had to make sure that I was a major or significant part of my children's lives, even though I wasn't in the home, no matter what. And then it got to the point where they had two houses. You get me? My house, their mother house, my house, their mother house. But because I didn't want them to feel left out, or I didn't want them to feel neglected on my end. Thanks, Dante. And this is the stuff, family, Baltimore City. This is why I work with our men, mainly our men. But the women, it just reminds me so much of my mother, trying to raise 7 children by herself. So I know what y'all go through because I watch my mother. But I watch the increase. You get me? We never went hungry. We never really wanted for nothing. I watch my mother. And the same way I watch my mother is how I want to see our Black women succeed in life. I'm talking about our mothers. But I want to see our men grow as well. So for a lot of y'all that want to use the mother, or the mother want to use the children against the father, you need to stop. You need to stop. If he was good enough for you to lay with, to have him, then he should be good enough to be a part of the ones that wants to be a part of their lives. You got some that really don't want to be bothered, which is really unhealthy because they ain't thinking about the pain that their child going through. But then again, they might because of the pain of them being neglected. See, I don't play that. And I keep trying to tell y'all, 64 years old. My birthday was February the 20th. My father ain't called me and say happy birthday. I don't even know if he's still living or not. He ain't even send me a happy birthday from the grave if he ain't here. Do I got brothers and sisters? Do they know about me? That stuff runs across my mind from time to time. But I try my best, family, not to let it bring me down. Now, let me catch back up. With Dante, get their own place or even take care of their mates. This is not good. I read that part. But the businesswoman who has a great job and a great salary is being, I'm trying to get that word, Dante. Uspered by the good-looking maid who can cook, clean, take care of the home, the children, and him. And that's one of my biggest fears, not being smart. My daughters are very independent women. And to be honest with y'all, I want an independent man in their life. You know, they doing their thing. I just don't want and I don't want to say mama's boy. When I say mama's boy, I want to clear this up because I am a mama's boy. But I'm talking about maybe I need to say one of them street dwellers. Is that better? Living up off my daughters. Please don't tell me, well, at least they bringing money in. Don't you dare do that. Because I lived that life. And I hustled. Not just taking care of my own family, but even though I was putting poison back in the community, we would still help people in the community as well that needed help. But it's not to glorify that life. Because number one, what I realized in doing that, if somebody got mad with me and couldn't get to me, they would have got to my family. So please don't, not here, not with this one right here. Sell it to somebody else. I got 33 years out of that lifestyle. 33. Working now towards 34. January the 26th made 33 years for me out of that lifestyle. The message here is that while today's woman is independent, the price of their independence is loneliness. surrounded by, what is that, acrimony and regret for the men. They are threatening, no, they are treating their prize possessions like throwaway objects of disparaging desire. This is not right. Wait a minute, family. I'm bringing that up some. This, come on, catch it with your eyes. Okay, when I'm just reading some of the stuff he wrote. I read it from the top on down, but I took a break. I'm trying to help those that might be popping in kind of catch up. Women as wives, I'm gonna start there, are not possessions, nor are they simply pawns or objects of the man's lust or desire. They are human beings and should be treated as such. When men fail to remember and recognize their faults and failures, they end up barren, without clothes, and thirsty without water. For a good woman provide a beautiful harvest that's like Jesus' word, quenches your thirst so that you never go thirsty again. And what Dante wrote, right? I try to help our women to understand y'all are the best thing going. Y'all are the greatest thing ever. And I'm going to say this for TikTok, right? I listen to how they bash over here each other a lot. Men ain't this, women aren't that. But then some of the platforms that I would come on, I would come in because I'm like Unc. And I come in and I'm going to encourage and empower the women that feels put down. Mainly, well, basically to help you understand the greatness that's in you. I was getting ready to say mainly if I know you doing all the right things. You in college, you got your degrees, you improved your life. Now, I'm not going to say this too much about the men, but for the women, because you got your degrees, because you live in a professional life, don't you ever let nobody make you feel bad for your success. And you do not have to throw that in that man's face. But my thing is, because you are a successful queen, and if he's not a successful king, to balance each other out, just tell him Big Unc said, you got to go. You ain't got to tell him you said it. Tell him I said it. You got to go. Because number one, if you already know she's a very educated, well-rounded woman, professional, and you're not there, you don't need to be in her life. You don't. If you cannot bring the same substance, that's all it is. Now, you might not say to a degree, like my daughter, gonna be a lawyer, she will be making over 6 figures. Now, if she meet a man that's making about 60 or 80, I don't want her to beat him down because she's making almost twice. I don't want her to beat him down on a financial tip, you get me? I would tell her don't do that. But he's working. They meeting each other's needs and wants and stuff like that. That's a lot of goddamn money on both ends, right? But they meeting each other's needs and wants and finances and taking care of whatever need to be done and building on each other spiritually, emotionally, all of that good stuff. Somebody 9 times out of 10 gonna make more money than the other. But you don't want to make them feel intimidated or feel bad because you making more. Your education, come on. You work hard for that. You got the right to be that professional. You got the right to have them degrees behind, them letters behind your name, or the degrees, you get me? You got that right. And you don't let no man make you feel less than. No. And this is something I had to tell one of my daughter's friends. She's a very, very independent woman, got her own place. Y'all baby. She just got her, well, she get ready to get her certificate in drawing blood for botany, right? She sent me something, said, Daddy, I passed my test. But look, she's still working on getting her license to become a daycare provider. I'm like, you go, girl. But look, I had to tell, what's her name? Don't try to mold and shape her, bro. We raised her very well. And don't get, because some guys will feel intimidated because a woman got a better education than them. Why would you want to be in their life if you can't match them? Then you want to come in their lives and you really don't have nothing going for you. So the only thing you gonna do, brother, if you come in her life and you ain't there on that level, you ain't gonna do nothing but try to bring her down so you can feel more superior. And anytime you try to do that to any woman, brothers, you better look at yourself, because I almost said you're a bunch of suckers. I had to catch it, but it's out now. Because the reason why I could say that, with a 9th grade education, I worked for everything I want out of life. Wasn't no white man, wasn't no black man stop me from moving forward. That's y'all crybaby stuff. Oh, the white man this and the black man the system that. And I can only share this with y'all. And Don, I'm gonna let you talk a little bit, bro. As a human rights advocate, as a community activist, as a person that's involved in politics, as a person that's involved in the community. So when y'all want to talk about the system, how the system's set up for us to fail, and if you understand that, why do you play into the system that sets you up to fail? Overcome the system. That's why I like to share what I shared when I said I got a 9th grade education. I started my own LLC. I retired from truck driving at 58, which I thought I was going to be driving trucks well into my 70s. But I was able to do something different. And it's not a joke. That's why I do what I do. My own broadcast network, the Couch Conversation, the Teen Talk Show. Now tell me you can't accomplish nothing in life, and I'm going to call you a liar. Come on, Don. And that wasn't to discourage anybody. That was not. That was to show you, if I can do it, and I'm just talking about accomplishing stuff in life, I'm the one that had to put in the work. That's why y'all already know, right? When you sign up for the LaTanya D. Copeland House of Hope, I always tell y'all, you the one that have to do the work to turn your life around. So if you come in and all of your intentions mean well, when I see you slacking up, or if I see you procrastinating, I have to push you. I have to push you. I have to push you. Understand what I'm saying? And if you decide you don't want to go no further, I can't keep you because you hold enough space for somebody else. That's how my housing program works. So for a lot of y'all that don't understand, don't you ever tell somebody coming to my housing program, oh, he got to do this, he got to do that. Because number one, I don't do rental agreements. I don't do leases. Know why? Because there's no guarantee they're going to stay. It's not permanent. So why would I sign somebody to a daggone lease? And the whole goal is to work with you from the temporary basis to put you into a permanent place. But you got to do the work. And if you got mail coming to the building or to the facility, that don't mean I can't. You got 72 hours. It doesn't work like that with us. And those are things that I had to explain to the police department. You cannot come in somebody's business like this and then try to go landlord tenant. It doesn't work like that. So I had to explain with them and teach them. So stop feeding people misinformation, because you're making it harder for them. But what I learned in the process of everything I do, if I know you homeless and I bring you in, I'm not going to put you straight out to be homeless again. I will try to put you somewhere else. Or if don't nobody accept you, I will take you to a shelter or make sure you get dropped off at a shelter. Once you're at a shelter, if they let you in, that's fine. If not, that's fine. Because guess what? I didn't put you back out in the street for you to be homeless like that. I took you somewhere for you to get help. And Christine Flowers was the one that told me that. You don't never want to put a person that's already homeless out to be homeless again. So for me, if it doesn't work with us, and I know somebody that has a better, more stable program, basically it's going to be like a prison to your butt because their rules might be a little bit stricter than mine, right? I asked them to take you, but I already know what's going to happen. You might kid and joke and play here. They're going to make your butt do what you got to do, what you got to do. And their staff might be a little bit bigger, right? So not just the owner going to come for you. The owner might not, but the operation managers and all that. So my thing is, it's independent with me. But I know some people that's more structured. So if I call them and say, hey, I need you to help such and such and such and such, they know normally if I send you, you kind of hard to work with. I work with you, but God darn it, when you take it for granted, I gotta send you to, I normally call them the more professional ones. But you good with me. But if I send you to one of them and they say they'll take you, it's like you going into the service. Attention! Mr. Steve he wasn't as strict with us. I know that's why you here. I be telling people that, come on, Don. I be telling people that they be like, try me. Don, I can't hear you. Wait a minute. I see your light. Oh my God, it was down.
Hey, you hear me now?
Yeah, I thought I had it turned up. I apologize.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wake up in the morning and it's dead fried. On the wrong side of the bed all night. Cling to the broken heart inside my head.